Good morning, students. Welcome to Little Champs channel, Sindhu's vlog. Please do support, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel, Little Champs Sindhu vlog. Thank you for all the support which you have given for the previous videos. And in the last video, we have discussed about the respiration in a descriptive manner. In this video, we are going to discuss the respiration procedure in animals. Okay, right, children, let's get into the subject. Coming to the respiration in animals, the respiratory events takes place in about three types. What are they? We have seen till pathway of respiration, isn't it? In the last video, we have seen till pathway of respiration. What is the pathway of respiration? Right from mouth, breathing nose to till lungs. Reaching lungs alveoli is nothing but the respiration procedure where involves even the expulsion of the gases from lungs to outside. Okay, that whole process comes under respiration. Okay, children, come on. Coming to the first slide, events in respiration. Respiratory events: pulmonary ventilation, external respiration, and internal respiration. Respiration is of three types. What are they? Namely, pulmonary ventilation, where exchange of gases takes place between lungs and atmosphere, either oxygen or carbon dioxide with lungs and atmosphere. External respiration, where exchange of gases between alveoli and pulmonary capillaries is called as external respiration. Internal respiration, where exchange of gases takes place between systemic capillaries and tissue cells is called as systemic capillaries and tissue cells, where oxygen and carbon dioxide do exchange at the level of cellular level. Then that type of respiration is called as internal respiration. Right, very good. Coming to the next one, breathing on pulmonary ventilation. Movement of air into and out of the lungs is called as breathing, isn't it? Movement of oxygen into the lungs and removal of carbon dioxide from lungs, and maybe might be some sort of other gases also. Gases also might be present in the air, might enter into lungs, but they don't get reacted that much like oxygen and what we expel the carbon dioxide out. This whole process of breathing in and breathing out is called as nothing but ventilation. It is also known as breathing. Okay, expelled air consists of carbon dioxide, proved from the lime water experiment, isn't it? What we breathe out has carbon dioxide. This is proved by the lime water experiment, where lime water turns in transparent color to milky white color. Okay, and the other one, more amount of carbon dioxide is present in expelled air than that of normal air. This is done by means of another experiment, where normal air is taken by the syringe and it is pushed into the lime water test tube, where the lime water test tube turns milky, but not that much more like that of expelled air, where expelled air is expelled out into the test tube and is collected, where milky white is more than that of the normal one. Okay, these three come under breathing or pulmonary ventilation. The pathway involves these steps. Okay, pathway of air in the body. Pathway of air. What is the pathway of air in our human body? We breathe air, isn't it? Isn't it, children? Yes, we breathe air. We take air inside. Where does this air go inside? After going inside, where does it go? That all is read under this pathway. Okay, external respiration and internal respiration. Pathway of air in our human body is of two types, isn't it? Where breathing in air of oxygen and carbon dioxide release, all these process, this pathway is of two types. Okay, external respiration and internal respiration. External respiration also called as pulmonary or physiological respiration. External respiration is pulmonary or physiological respiration, where only till alveoli is considered. Internal respiration is where the diffusion of oxygen from alveoli capillaries into cells, red blood cells, is called as cellular respiration. Okay, let's see what it is in a descriptive manner in the coming slides. Okay, right. External respiration. Through respiratory system, where we usually mean respiration as a passage of air that transport to the lungs and to the microscopic air sacs in them, called as alveoli, where gases are exchanged between them and blood vessels, and vice versa, is called as what? External respiration. Nothing, don't get confused. Nothing but external respiration is reaching of the air from mouth till alveoli, is called as external respiration. Okay, coming to the next one, pathway of external respiration. See, in a diagram it is given in a descriptive manner. Okay, alveoli are clearly seen. Some millions of alveoli are present in the lungs, and those are so much microscopic that we cannot even separate and count them. Okay, right. Coming to the next one, pathway of air in external respiration. Pathway of air in external respiration. External respiration means what we discussed till alveoli is called as external respiration. Let us see what it is. Okay, breathing mechanism involves the pathway of air, where breathing is also known as ventilation. Air from outside, air from outside enters either through mouth or through nose into pharynx or throat or larynx, voice box, and then later into the trachea, but not into esophagus. It moves into bronchi, then later into bronchial tree, then later into lungs, then later into alveolar sacs, and reach alveoli and reaches blood capillaries. In this procedure, the whole process is called as external respiration. Do remember the word external. External respiration. One inhalation plus one exhalation equals to one respiratory cycle. Okay, do remember this thing. Coming to the next slide, pathway of air in a description. Either through nose or through mouth, then the oxygen enters into the nasal cavity or pharynx or throat or larynx, and then later it is sent to trachea or windpipe, from there to bronchi, bronchioles and alveoli. That is the air pathway in external respiration. Okay, coming to the next slide, role of epiglottis and diaphragm. This whole thing is nothing but the external respiration. That is completed. Coming to the next one, role of epiglottis and diaphragm in respiration. So we are talking about all the larynx, trachea, pharynx, larynx, and then trachea. But what about the esophagus, which is present nearly closer to that of closer to that of closer to that of trachea? What happened to that? We have to see now. See, epiglottis is present. A special modified, not modified, a special small muscular unit which helps. See, flap of cartilage. It's a flap of cartilage covered with some muscle. So that epiglottis helps in prevention of food into trachea and air into esophagus. Of course, even though air passes through the esophagus, doesn't matter. But if food passes from pharynx to trachea, then there will be formation of cough while eating. If it enters into air pipe. What the food we take, what the bolus formed will enter into trachea. What it happens? It forms cough. Okay, we can't eat, and what happens? Blockage of lungs will happen. So it's not happen all of a sudden. Sometimes a death may be also be occurred. Okay, so because of that thing, it should not happen. So only epiglottis protects this procedure. Okay, do remember it is a flap of cartilage sits above glottis. Epiglottis sits over glottis. Okay, and covers larynx and trachea during swallowing. Food goes into esophagus or food pipe, but not into trachea. While we are breathing, we continuously breathe, isn't it? Nothing, no problem will be there. But if at all food when we are taking in, if it enters into trachea, it may even cause death to the person. So we should be careful. We should be careful while eating and drinking, and also we have one protective unit called as epiglottis which lies over glottis. Okay children, right. Coming to the next slide, diaphragm role in respiration. Diaphragm's role in respiration. Here we have seen about the role of what? Role of epiglottis. Now we are going to look after diaphragm. Diaphragm is present where children? Yes, right. It is a junction where lower and upper abdomen is present. Okay. It is a junctional region between lower and upper abdomen. Right. It is a thin layer of thin layered structure. Okay. When the diaphragm muscular structure which helps in relaxation of muscles and contraction of muscles during respiration procedure. Contraction of diaphragm causes inhalation of air. Okay, inhalation of air, where relaxation of diaphragm causes exhalation of air. Do remember this one, very important, how the diaphragm functions while we breathe. Okay, where we can consider the chest, a rise in chest when we inhale, that is when muscles contract. See, if we contract ourselves, contract like this, then what happens? Our chest rises and air, what happens to the air gets inside. That means inhalation process, contraction of diaphragm and formation of chest rise. It causes nothing but flow of air into lungs. The opposite the case, where a relaxation of diaphragm causes chest contraction and then later on expulsion of air. Okay, right children. Coming to the next slide. Right, that's the end of the slide. No, I'm sorry. Okay, coming to the next slide. Gaseous exchange between alveoli and capillaries. So till now what we have seen, what is the external respiration? External respiration till now, till diaphragm relaxation and then contraction we have seen. Now we are going to see the alveolar respiration, where the exchange of gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place by means of membrane diffusion, membranal diffusion. Okay, the thin layered alveoli, see children, here oxygen is going inside and diffusing from the membrane of alveoli into the capillary membrane, and then entering into the plasma of capillary, and oxygen is taken by diffuses into red blood cells, where hemoglobin absorbs the oxygen and forms oxyhemoglobin, where carbon dioxide is expelled out through the membrane of capillary to the membrane of alveoli, and then later it is expelled out. Whole this process is done by means of diffusion, membranal diffusion. Okay, gas exchange between alveoli and capillaries. Gases can dissolve and diffuse between the lungs and the circulatory system. Do remember this one. Gases can dissolve and diffuse between the lungs and the circulatory system. The basic procedure which involves is the concentration of oxygen. If it is higher, then it moves from high to low. If it is lower, it absorbs from that place. Do remember that one. That is nothing but the diffusion procedure when high concentration to low concentration. Oxygen diffuses from high concentration to low concentration. Okay, coming to the next slide. Transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Gas exchange within the alveoli. See, oxygen gets diffused by forming oxyhemoglobin through the membrane of alveoli and through the membrane of a blood capillary. It enters into the bloodstream and and it is readily absorbed by means of hemoglobin pigment, which is similar to chlorophyll pigment. It is absorbed by the RBC cells and it forms oxyhemoglobin, which is readily carried to the cells where it forms carbon dioxide and water. This carbon dioxide which is formed in the cells is carried out either by means in small amounts by hemoglobin or in large amounts by plasma to lungs by a procedure called as diffusion. Okay, right children, right. Very good. By means of what procedure? Diffusion. Right, very good. Coming to the next slide. That's the end of the slide. So with this we have completed till exchange of gases, diffusion procedure. In the next class we will see cellular respiration and then respiration in case of plants and then relationship between respiration and photosynthesis. Thank you for doing watching this video. Okay, thank you for watching this video children. Thank you very much.